Hello, everybody. Dr. Michael here. I wanted to talk to you real quick about something that has come up a lot lately, and that's people keep asking me, "Well, is it dangerous to be bathing with like all the chlorine and the chemicals?" And that's a really, really good question. For starters, let's talk about chlorine for a minute. Most people worry about chlorines and fluorines and fluorides and bromaines and things, but they don't know why. Like, oh, it causes cancer in this. The reality of that is chlorine is an iodine antagonist, and by that I mean it's a halogen, so everything in that family, whether it's iodine, bromine, fluoride, chlorine, they compete and they compete with each other for absorption into the thyroid gland and the various aspects of the different body parts so that it will literally shut down our endocrine system. And unfortunately, our environment is literally swimming with these different types of iodine antagonists. So it's actually a really big deal. It's literally everywhere. Whether you're talking about tap water in baths, showers, pools, if you go to the exercise facilities at the gym, the hot tubs, a lot of people go to public pools. And by public pools, I mean like it can be something as simple as in your subdivision. And even more scary is the fact that when you go to a restaurant, they use it to cook your fruits, your vegetables, to make your pasta and things like that. And so it's really a big deal. What most people don't know is they would never think to drink, a gallon of tap water these days unless they're just really in the dark about health and wellness. But most people don't know that if you soak in a hot bath for 15 minutes, you literally absorb as much chlorine as if you drank a whole quart of that water. Now, imagine being in a pool for an hour. That's the equivalent of getting a gallon's worth of that chlorine in your system. People that spend the whole day at the pool, you can get 5-6 gallons worth of toxins in your system by hanging out at the pool for an afternoon. Now, that's why bathing is actually now becoming much more understood as a critical part to the health facility and the healthy lifestyle to facilitate health and healing. The reason being, your skin is your primary connection to the world around you. It's the largest organ in the body, and it connects you to the outside world. It is actually something that absorbs things from the environment. It's extremely sensitive. Most people don't even realize it. And the worst part is, all these little hair follicles you got, that actually wicks the toxins down deep into the skin. So you get it more systemically than anywhere else. And it's really kind of surprising. The other aspect is the sebaceous glands are very, very susceptible to toxins. They detoxify the system. So if it's trying to get the stuff out and you immerse it in a system that is full of toxins, it can be really, really unhealthy. If you want to study bathing, it's really kind of an interesting art in, of all places, Japan. That's not a big surprising. The Ministry of Health actually regulates the hot springs for mineral baths and things like that. Now, we have all seen the monkeys chilling in the hot springs in the winter in Japan. Very, very cool. I had the opportunity to go to Japan back in 2013. Hung out in some of these amazing hot springs, but that's where I learned a lot about what's going on. So they're actually called onsen or hot spring. And it's not just happen to have hot water. It actually has to contain an assortment of about 19 different regulated minerals. And they're very, very specific. They actually passed laws in 1948 to what would define an onsen or a hot spring. First of all, the temperature's got to be 25 degrees Celsius or above, and it contain a certain level of these minerals. That's why many people soak in these hot springs for relaxation and to alleviate certain ailments. But that actually gives it the designation in Japan as a medical hot spring. And they're all over down there. Here's 5 of the beautiful ones that we happen to be able to go see. But they're actually, like I said, they're regulated under law in the Ministry of Health. And the reason why is hot springs and onsens, they help you on a level of several different levels. The first one being pharmacological, and that's a big fancy term. Because of the mineral composition and salts in the hot spring, it has an ability to affect different parts of the body distinctively. The other aspect is thermally, that creates relaxation, vasodilation, and helps the body to kind of get in a better mode. Buoyancy, when you get into a weightless situation, you relax. You take the pressure off your spine, your ligaments, your joints, and things like that. The big thing that most people totally misunderstand is when you immerse yourself into water, there's something that's called hydrodynamic pressure. And when you bathe like that, you actually increase the blood flow and lymphatics in your body, which means that you're increasing your body's ability to carry nutrition and oxygen, and the lymphatics are getting rid of the garbage. The fifth component, which I thought was really kind of an interesting thing as I was studying this, was they talk about just changing your environment and stuff, but they call it the womb effect. Because when you have that buoyancy, not only are you out of the gravity, but they call it the womb effect because you're kind of surrounded in this warm, wonderful feeling. You're getting lots of good nutrition and pharmacological salts and minerals through the water, just like the womb, which I thought was a fascinating concept. Some of the pharmacological aspects that really have a strong effect, I really didn't know this until I, like I said, started to study it. And I highly recommend you just go into Google and you type in onsen, medical, hot spring, Japan, and there's just all kinds of information. It's quite fascinating, actually. But different minerals and different compounds and elements affect the body differently. Like sulfur can affect dry skin, eczema, psoriasis, things like that. Copper can affect anemia, blood disorders, menstruations. Your radium can help alleviate pain and things like that, as well as the sodium bicarbonates and chlorides can help with wound healing, as well as digestive issues, which is a really big deal for us, especially with Skylar. And then silica is obviously known to alleviate and help dry skin issues, things like that. But you got to realize these are all superheated to a really good temperature so that this thermal mineral content, adding in this hydrodynamic water pressure that increases the circulation, increases blood flow, increases lymphatics, they're actually improving cardiovascular integrity. And the Japanese have been studying this at the Ministry of Health for 50 years, 60 years. It's really fascinating. It's actually been found to be an extremely important health component for things like thyroid issues, rashes, eczema, psoriasis. That bottom picture on the left is actually me, where I had some severe hair loss. And so we're now finding that the environment that we bathe in is actually critically important. Hot baths, long showers, hot tubs, things like that can actually be adversely affecting your health because of what's in them. Well, there we go, the onsen. Where do you want to go for good hot springs? There's 4 regions specifically in Japan, in that area around, it's called the volcanic rim, but the number 1 place in the world is the northern island of Hokkaido, and it's Suo. And it's got the highest mineral content. It's on the volcanic rim. It's known as Hell Valley, and it just has the highest level of minerals. This right here is the Futamata hot spring in Hokkaido. It's the number 1 hot spring in the world. They talk about using the energy of the earth to heal you, and that's why it's been designated literally the number 1 hot spring in the world. And it is the standard for numerous other hot springs all around not only Japan, but the world. And part of that is because it has a legitimate 300-year-old history that they can actually track what's going on and what it's done. So it's not just, oh, hey, you shouldn't get in chlorine. There's like a whole art to this, which I thought was fascinating. So here's some more pictures of the radium hot springs. Again, this is the Futamata hot spring in Hokkaido. Just a beautiful place. When we were there, it was amazing to go in to these spas, and you're just literally, you feel rejuvenated. They got them hot, they got them cold. They've got different things for different ailments. It was just interesting to see the importance that they place on this. One of the most important minerals is called radium tufa. It's a limestone content, but it contains the highest concentration of the multitude of minerals that the body needs. And the best part about that is the water machines that we use has this thing that's called an spa, and it's literally your very own home spa system. I did not get one of these right away. I thought it was just another chlorine filter, and it wasn't, and that's what led me into the research here, because after we went and stayed at a friend's house who was on a well, and he said, no, you need to use ours, and I'm like, you don't have chlorine? He goes, oh no, it's not that it takes out chlorine, it takes out all kinds of stuff, and it's got rocks from Japan. And I was like, what? So it's literally the only one of its kind in the world. There are no other home-based bath units that use this technology, that use these minerals to help the body. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So tell me a little bit more about it. Well, one, it really does affect the skin. Most people don't realize how fast your body absorbs things from the environment. Many of you have probably already seen my chlorine test where I put 3 fingers in a glass of water in 60 seconds. My body literally absorbed all of the chlorine out of the water. Dramatic effect on hair. Like I said, I was having major hair loss, and it was because the chlorine was wicking down into the hair follicles. But it's just really nice to be able to have this right there at your home. And so when my wife made us buy one, I was a little reluctant, but now I'm like, it's the only place I shower. We bought the extra cartridges and put it in our hot tub, and it really has been an amazing thing, and it's very, very different. You can go buy a chlorine filter from anywhere, but this is a really intense filtration system. It not only removes chlorine, but there's this thing that's called trihalomethanes, and those are the gases and phenols. There's sediments, there's odors, things taste weird, and organic waste, and this thing filters it all out. The other thing is there's these neodymium magnets. They're rare earth magnets that are really, really intense, and they actually activate and energize the water molecules, break them into smaller clusters. That activates the water, makes it easier to get it in, makes it easier to detox your system. And within this system is another internal cartridge. And this cartridge is actually full of this tufa minerals from 2 different hot springs, actually Futamata and Chukotan. And so you're really getting some amazing stuff while you're chilling out in the shower. And finally, there's what's called power stones. And these are a type of tourmaline that create a very strong negative ion so that it's actually energizing your system, which is just, it's incredible. I recently changed out some filters. If you look on the far right-hand side, that's a new filter that I was getting ready to replace. The one there in the middle that looks just like all brown and nasty, that's the garbage that came out of my shower. Now, it's one thing to think about washing your hands or something, but if you realize that you're heating your body up, you're opening your pores, all that garbage was going into your body unless you're using this type of system. And finally, there's that cartridge that I talked about that had the ceramic crystals from Futamata and Chukotan. So literally now you can have this whole incredible hot spring event. You can have this literally in your own home. That's what the shower unit looks like. You can fill up your bath. It's got the sprayer head. We literally hooked up the hose from our custom sprayer head and just put it on there, and the cartridge just sits out there out of the way, and it's in place, and we use it all the time, every day. We can change the shower heads and the fittings and all that stuff. It's really, really amazing. Can't recommend it enough. For me, I notice a huge difference with my fatigue, my ability to sleep, and things like that. And there's actually some different things that showed up, but our clients are definitely talking about how much more their skin is just fabulous, incredible. It's soft. A lot of our people that have adult onset acne and things like that, they're noticing that it clears up. Hair being a lot healthier. You know, mine, like I said, you saw the picture, it was falling out. But it's interesting because when you shut your thyroid down, that's actually metabolism, so you're going to have less energy. If you have a system that clears that out and then re-energizes your endocrine system, it gives you a reason to have more energy. Because you're not toxic, you're actually going to sleep better. And it's for those different reasons and the things that we actually heard from our own clients that we decided to make it part of our health trifecta for all of our patients, all of our clients, and all of our executives that we coach. Obviously, we talk about the K8 because that's literally the ultimate in water. Your body is 72% water. If you're using anything less than that, you're just not putting the best water in your body. And then when you take a shower and a bath, if you're using the Nespa, I mean, it's just a whole new level of detoxification and literally protecting your thyroid, your endocrine system, and your immune system to function at its peak level. Another product that we use a lot of is we have an organic turmeric that's, in my opinion, the most natural, best combination I've ever seen. It has capsules, teas, even has soaps for people with skin conditions. And we include that as our part of our everybody should use it because everybody is 72% water and hopefully everybody bathes. And so this protects the body and rebuilds it from the inside out the best that it possibly can. Interesting thing to note on the turmeric is if you Google it, you're going to find like 6,000 research articles associated with health conditions and research on PubMed and things like that, where the turmeric is actually highly beneficial. So just another thing to look at. If you want more information, you go to drmichaelswater.com. Click under the products, the videos. You can contact us. It talks about the Anespa, the K8, talks about our turmerics and things like that. So check it out. I had mentioned and alluded to some of our coaching stuff that we do. My wife and I, Dr. Abby, health coaches. We deal with people from an executive lifestyle that are looking to improve their health and wellness across a lot of different levels. And they're willing to put the time and energy into prevention versus trying to get well afterwards. That's our makealifeworthliving.com business, and we're glad to help. Other than that, you can like, share this thing, put it out there. You can find more videos on Dr. Michael Explains on YouTube. I'm in the Facebook group, Dr. Michael Explains as well. Again, Dr. Michael Explains at Gmail. That's my email. You can reach out to me. I'm glad to help in any way that I can. Hopefully this just instigates a few questions. And if you get the opportunity, I definitely recommend you give it a try. Let us know what you think, and have a great day.